a good day today. I know it's been a little bit while since I've done one of these, so I've been a little bit lazy for the past few weeks, I'm not going to lie. Definitely feeling a bit burned out. Definitely doing far too much, to be honest. So, but yeah, how's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. And yeah, anyway, back onto the work schedule, back onto doing these streams, and back to doing more content as well. Been definitely slacking on the content this month. So, yeah, well, the second half of the month anyway. So today we're going to be going over and doing a live Q&A, Amazon FBA Q&A. So if anyone's got any questions about Amazon, selling on Amazon or business or me or whatever you want, feel free to ask and I'll do my best answer for you. So we'll give it a few more minutes for some people to come in. And yeah, we'll see how it goes basically. Otherwise I'll have to try and fill in the time with some, with some fillers basically, until we get some good questions come in. So I noticed everyone's posting fantastic results in the FBA Moguls community. By the way, if you're not in that community, check the link. You can join that community. It's 100% free Amazon FBA community. And we all help each other out, improve our Amazon businesses. And yeah, it's really great. I'm seeing some fantastic numbers there. Some people doing, say, 2,000 profit a month, 3,500 profit a month, 3,000 profit. Let's have a look through. Mace, he's at 1,300 profit, which is sick, so growing nicely. It's nice to see not only the numbers, but the progression of people over time. So great to see that. I've just been looking at these. So this is my new, I don't know, this is Studio's new, I think, for streaming. I'm not sure if it's been like this since, I basically made the studio look a little bit better, put up the shelving unit, got my Lego in the background there. A lot of space Lego, actually, some plants. I think I need to sort of play around with the white balance of the camera because the I'm so bad at pointing out here. The lamp there, over there, God, it's very bright, so I need to figure that out basically. But no, hopefully you guys are think it looks a bit better as well. I should have brought it into frame actually, but I've also upgraded. It's not set up yet, but I bought myself a new camera and lens to take things to the next level, improve the quality of the content that I'm putting out there. So I bought myself an A7S III and what lens did I buy? Some 18mm lens, I think, Sony G Master, something like that. I'll have to look at my Amazon account. Anyway, ridiculously expensive, but all about providing better quality for you guys. I've also got a editor as well, a video editor, who I'm trialing out right now. He's just doing me a few sample clips, but what I've seen is good. Hey Michael, how's it going? So going to be getting a video editor as well, so I don't have to edit the videos anymore, because it takes twice as long to edit a video as it does to record. In fact, it takes more than that. It takes like 5 times as long to edit a video than it does to record it. Hey Michaels, how's it going? Thanks for joining us again, one of our regular viewers. I do appreciate you coming on. Looks like we've got 6 viewers so far, which is awesome. Hopefully we'll bump that up a little bit more, but I appreciate everyone coming and watching. I was just giving you guys a quick update on the channel and what I've been doing. So, I've bought myself a new camera, A7S III, a new lens, been improving the studio as well. So got video editor coming in as well, thumbnail editor. So that means I can just focus on producing good quality content and let someone else edit the stuff for me as well. So, but yeah, Nihal, thoughts on doing Shopify dropshipping? My thoughts on that are, it can be done, but it's not a viable business as far as I'm concerned. But in fact, no, it is a viable business. I know people do it. I'm not a huge fan of dropshipping. If you want to create your own Shopify store, fine. But the biggest problem with all that is you've got to find customers like any business. So, yeah. Hey, Snappy, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. But yeah, so anyway, channel is improving over time. And guys, don't forget as well, I mentioned this a few times actually, we've got the MacBook, which is so... Okay, there we go. You can see the white balance is changing. So MacBook is there. If you guys are not entered for this, make sure you get entered. There it is. So yeah, make sure you join my Discord community to... You can see the white balance is all over the place. I need to fix that rather than being auto. Feel free to enter for that MacBook as well. That'll be given away. I think it's the 18th of December, 17th December. So Yeah, but no, Shopify. I mean, sure, I can create a Shopify store tomorrow, right, or today, but it doesn't mean I can get any customers there. That's the tricky thing, isn't it? Drop shipping, I guess, is the same thing. Now, one thing I know a lot of people are talking about right now is TikTok Shop. So I still need to look into TikTok Shop, but I know that's a really popular method to sell right now. It's been a bit crazy. So, and one thing I might try actually, maybe tomorrow, I might do this again, but on TikTok Live. So I might move the platform. Well, I'm going to try TikTok, and we'll see how it goes. Because I went to a sort of I hate this word, sort of influencer event or Amazon influencer event hosted by the BuyBot Pro, Profit Protect Pro guys in Lincoln. And there were probably about, I guess, 15 of us, 10, 15 of us, social media creators that hate the word influencer. And literally everyone there was a TikToker, and I was the only YouTuber there. So pretty much, I think there was one other guy who does a bit of both, but yeah, pretty much everyone was saying TikTok's where it's at. So may have to give that a bit more of a go. So, but yeah, here, and that's obviously just in terms of producing content and doing live streams, things like that. I'm very old, so I don't know about all this stuff. But yeah, TikTok Shop is where it's at right now, apparently. So I think you can link it with your Amazon account. Might be US only, I'm not sure. Again, I need to look into this stuff. So, but yeah, great to see the success people are having. If you guys got any questions, by the way, feel free to post them in the chat. That's what I'm here for, to answer any questions you may have. So, in fact, what was a question I got asked earlier? Someone said, "Oh, there are any tips for OA because they're struggling?" So, I mean, that was such a big question. So, any tips for sourcing OA? Me, the method that I love is newsletter sourcing. That I think is definitely underrated sourcing method. I know there are much bigger sellers than me that also use that same method as well. Hey, FBA Golden Boy. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks for joining. But yeah, I need newsletter sourcing, definitely. Getting on those newsletters. And then, what was the other question they said? Any tips on OA because they're struggling? How to setting up email and find supply. How do you find suppliers through Arbisource? You don't find suppliers through Arbisource. You go where the sales are, if that makes sense. So, do the newsletter sourcing, see when the newsletters come through, see what sales are on, and then you can either manually source or you can use Arbisource then to scan those websites. So don't try and find a site. That makes sense. Like, you find where the deals are first. That's what determines what sites you go and source. So Sunkin saying, do you strictly do OA or other strategies? So OA is my game, basically. That's pretty much it. In the past, I've done more retail, a tiny bit of retail arbitrage, I should say. I've not done wholesale until very recently with Cogita. So if you call that wholesale, I'd say it's like a bit of a hybrid OA wholesale thing, not sort of pure wholesale. But yeah, I'm 95% OA. In fact, I'm 99% OA. But very recently, past 2 months, I've been doing more wholesale with Cogita. Just because it's been an absolute gold mine of deals. So if you guys are not signed up to Cogita, make sure you sign up. There's a link in the description. Get £120 off your first order. But yeah, pretty much. FBA Golden Boy, saw you put something in Discord about Dashlane. So yeah, someone was asking a question like, how do you speed up the checkout process when you're doing? It was a bit vague. Was it OA, A2A? I wasn't sure what they were asking. So. Dashlane is just a password manager, basically. So it's a good thing to do anyway, to store your passwords in there, and then they auto-generate passwords for you and store your login credentials. But also as well, it means when you're checking out on a site, it's got your stuff auto-filled out, so your address, your card. That way you have to type it in and save it. It's the same as LastPass, Dashlane. There's various ones, basically. I mean, I think even like Google and Apple and everyone have their own like built-in one. But I like Dashlane. I've been using it for years. That's what I use. All the same thing, basically. But it auto-fills your details in, so you can check out that a little bit quicker, maybe, if time is of the essence. Now, someone was asking about Amazon to Amazon. They were saying, how do you like auto-authorize purchases through Amazon? Now, I'm not sure how you actually do that. So if someone knows how to do that, let me know. But it doesn't really matter, because once you've placed the order, even if it goes through to the sort of what you call the 2FA screen, or we always to put your code in or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you go back to your orders on your Amazon account, you'll see that the order is there. It's just pending payment. So you've already secured your order. That's the main thing. Then you can pay. So once you've got that order, like place order done, you're kind of okay, and then you can pay for it a little bit later. So you haven't got a huge amount of time. I think they do cancel relatively quickly, within an hour or so, but it does give you time, basically. So hopefully that answers that question, Golden Boy. So I wasn't quite sure what they were asking there, that question. So they're just some little tips that I use for doing Amazon to Amazon OA. Very rarely I'm like speed is of the essence for OA, but sometimes it does. Speed is of the essence, and that does help a bit. Claudia's asking, can big brands fine you for reselling their brands? No. So I'm 99.99% sure they can't do that, no. Because I guess once the item, you own it, that's yours basically to do with it as you please. So no, you can't be fined. I've not heard anyone being fined for selling their brand. I don't know what you get fined for, really. It's not illegal to sell something that you own. So yeah, interesting one. But no, let me know why are you asking that question? Is that something you've seen, or someone say you can get fined or something like that? Let me know. Just having a look through. We've got some questions in the Discord. So I can't actually see, I can disable this. I've got stream mode on. Dean, I'm not sure if you're in the live stream, Dean, but so he's saying on Profit Sweep, when you buy an item, it says the price, what you should sell it for, and what you should sell it for that most you can get for it, or you go lower. So I always analyze, no matter who's posting deals, whether it's Profit Sweep, which is a fantastic group, by the way, link for that in description, or any other group. I always do my own analysis. I'm not relying on the group to tell me how much it's going to sell for. Pretty much they're probably going to be using an average or maybe a slightly optimistic price. So I'm always looking and analyzing myself to see what's a kind of a realistic price that I can sell it for. So a lot of the groups have to use an average, which I really dislike. I mean, they have to, because they're trying to like automate the process, but I never use averages when I'm figuring out a profitable item. I hate averages. So yeah, Michael, I found VQ last night. Not sure if I can use it. It's actually for shipping, but give decent information on profits, etc. I've not heard of that one. No, it's a bit like SDK apparently. No, I've not heard of that one before. There's all sorts of new bits of software coming out, or existing software. Let me have a quick look. The number one retail operating system, your orders, inventory, finances, point of sale. And that's okay. Hang on. Multi-channel. Yeah, I don't know really. I've not heard this one before, so let me know what it's like. Someone was asking about some other bit of software the other day. I can't remember what it was called now. Like Shopkeeper. Looked good when I went to the website, but then as soon as I looked on Trustpilot, it was like dire. So I was like, do not use that. Legitimately, STK is the best software to use right now. So yeah, is it the best? Is it like perfect? No. Is it the best right now? Yes, basically. Could it be improved a lot? Yes, a hell of a lot. But right now, there's no other software out there that I know of that gives like the most accurate results and it's got good speed and things like that. So if you know of any alternatives, let me know, basically. But for me, that is the main one, really. Cool. Got a DM here from Chris. Do you ever download ASINs from Keep It and upload to reverse search and Arbisource? No, I don't. But yeah, it's a really cool feature. So I recently did a video, when I say recently, a few weeks ago, of going through all the features of Arbisource. And one of the very cool features on there, which I actually didn't know about until I did the video, was the fact you can literally put an ASIN in and it will reverse search it for you. So let's say you're looking to, I don't know, find this MacBook, which you guys can win, by the way, if it screws up the camera. You can put the ASIN for that in, and it will say where you can buy it from. So I'm sure Currys and Apple will come up, and Argos and whatever site. So really cool, powerful bit of software, Arbisource, for Arbisource. So yeah, so that's the answer to that question. So Sunken, have you had any reps off Quigita? Always looks like that kind of site to me. No, God no. You mean replicas and like counterfeit? Absolutely not. No. So the only one that I was like slightly suspicious of, I was like, is it, isn't it? Well, it looked fine, but I was like, I bought a There's no reason I didn't think it was real. I just thought, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy one from a known good source, and then I got like a jeweler's loupe and then compared them, and they looked identical. So, no, it's all they vet their suppliers. It's all legit. If you ever did get a replica, which you won't, or a counterfeit, or whatever, you're going to get your money back. So, yeah, not a problem whatsoever for me. I don't see why that would be a problem for you. But anyway, Bitwarden is okay too. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of different ones out there for like. I assume Bitwarden's like similar to Dashlane. I think my younger brother uses LastPass or OnePass or something like that. I use Dashlane. It's just whatever I guess you start off with, because I don't fancy moving to another bit of like password management software. It'd be a real pain. So now I'm basically Dashlane now for life, basically. One great thing about it I use actually as well is I signed up to the sort of business, friends and family thing so I could share it, and I gave it access to my VA, my admin VA. I'm going to give one to my sourcing VA as well. And anytime she needs like a login details for like a site, I can just share that directly with her. So I'm not copying and pasting passwords through Discord and stuff, which is not secure. So that way it's all in Dashlane, and I can obviously remove that authorization at any point, which is quite good. So that way I'm enforcing good habits on them, and I can share my passwords and stuff and login credentials in a safe way. Can you show me how to easily ungate easily for any brand? I mean, it's very simple. In theory, you just need an invoice that has 10 units or 10 invoices that has 1 unit each. Essentially, as long as you've got either one or multiple invoices where the units equal 10 or more, you just basically submit that, as long as that invoice is from a reputable supplier, and you should be able to ungate. Now, recently they've become very strict. I'm trying to ungate Paco Rabanne right now, and this is turning into a bit of what I call a nemesis brand, where I just had a sale, nice. Basically, where they just will not accept my invoice. And my invoice is from Notino, so I've used them before to probably ungate 15, 20 brands. Never had an issue before, but for some reason, they're not accepting it this time. They keep asking me for Notino's supplier, which obviously I'm never going to get. And that's very confidential information. And then they, once I said, this is just total rubbish, they just said, we've chosen not to allow you to sell. So sometimes you got to do this. Sometimes it takes 5, 10, 15 goes. I think the worst one so far has been Lenovo, which took me 7 attempts. Looks like Paco Rabanne is probably going to be my new nemesis, ungate for me. But yeah, in theory, it's very simple. This time of year, they're being quite strict, especially on perfumes and stuff like that. So, excuse me. So Abby Kumar, apologies if I pronounced that wrong. What's your opinion on Amazon to Amazon in the UK? Amazon to Amazon in the UK is sick, basically. You can make a lot of money doing Amazon to Amazon. And you know what the best site is, or the best community? The best Discord group for Amazon to Amazon is Profit Sweep, and there'll be a link for that in the description. There should be, I hope, anyway. If not, I'll post it on later. But yeah, that is, and I can get you 25% off your first month as well. So I'll post a link for that in the description after this video. Yeah, it's sick. I made a lot of money from Amazon to Amazon. So yeah, I'm a big fan of it, basically. So yeah, definitely get in on it if you can. Next question from Chris. Do you always make sure you can get an invoice from Cogito sellers now? Yes, basically I always do. So the best advice with Cogito right now is to place your order but don't pay, and then ask for an invoice, basically. And if they won't provide one, then don't pay for the order. So that is the current advice right now. Cogito are working really hard on sorting this invoice issue out, though. So I've had a meeting with 3 of their guys, so like a product manager and I don't know who they were anyway, but people at Cogito, and they're basically working on solving this problem. It's quite a big thing because they're going to have to force their suppliers to provide invoices, so that's going to be something they're going to be doing. Obviously, it's quite a large change for them, but that's something they're focusing on in Q4. So a bit of a pain for them. I gave them a few options on how they can do it. I think the option they're most likely going to go for is filtering products based on whether they'll provide invoices or not, and then essentially what I think will happen is each time a supplier either signs up or puts a product on Cogito, they can basically select whether they will or will not provide an invoice. And what I'm hoping is this will basically encourage them to provide invoices, because a lot of them are going to realise they're not going to get sales without invoices. So yeah, but anyway, that's the recommendation right now. So Claudia says, Cogito supplier partially cancelled an order shortly after placing it, even though the units are in stock. What could be the reason? Quigita AI supporters only provide generic answers so far. So, yeah, I mean, I've had a few things where I've ordered and they've cancelled part of it. I assume it's a stock issue. If I'm not, is it the same items in stock again? I don't know. Very hard to know what's going on there, to be honest. If you can DM me with some of the evidence there, and I can pass that on to my guy at Quigita. And if the sellers are being a little bit unscrupulous there, but I suspect it's just a stock issue, and it could be another seller that's got those items in stock now. I'm not sure really, but yeah, as long as you're getting some of the items, I guess it's okay. But yeah, it does kind of suck if they do cancel, but it does happen. Advice for managing an admin VA and the tasks they complete. So yeah, basically, I'm still kind of figuring this out myself because I've only recently got my second admin VA. But essentially what you need to do is come down with, or write down every single, I mean, if you're hiring them for someone like Outsource Central, who I recommend, by the way, I'll put a link for that in the description as well if you want an admin VA from them. They charge $450 for a fully trained admin VA. They kind of already know a lot of the tasks they've got to do. But what you need to do basically is write, and then I think this is recommended for any, basically I'm trying to figure this out myself, but come up with a good process on how to do this. But you need to figure out what tasks you want them to do. So what tasks are done on like a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, and a yearly basis. What are sort of ad hoc tasks that need to be done as and when. Write all those down basically, and then write a process for all of those. So if let's say it's a daily task of checking for customer emails. So what would they do? They'd log into Amazon, they check the messages. If there's no messages, then they've got nothing to do. If there is a message, obviously read what it says and then, do what they need to do basically. So just coming up with all those tasks basically they need to do. Now they've been trained on a lot of them, but you need to basically just just make sure they're doing it to your standard, I suppose. So, or if you've got any specific requirements on how you want things done. But that's a good way, I think, to do it. So I think that's a good way to outsource any task is know how to do it yourself, write a process down, and then have them follow that process. And you can always be improving that process as well. Be open to change as well. So I think that's it. And then I use Dashlane as well, like I said, to share passwords with them. So my admin VA says to me, hey, can I get a login to Notino? I don't just copy and paste it into Discord. And also I use Discord as well to communicate with them. I've got a little server I created up for my admin VAs and my business. But yeah, I will share that through Dashlane basically. So there's a share option there. But yeah, so yeah, I created a separate little Discord community. Obviously it's free to do so. You can create your own little server quickly. You can invite them in and you can say we're managing our entire business through sort of Discord or Slack if you want, whatever you want to do really, it's up to you. Can be a good way to do it. Some people use WhatsApp, some people use Telegram. I don't like any of those platforms. I like Slack's probably a good one that's more business like, and then obviously Discord as well. Is pretty good. So we've got another question from Chris here. I'm going to ask if he's on the live Q&A. Right, he's asking, do you always make sure you can get an invoice? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I've answered that already, right? Yeah, I think I'm always looking to try and get the... okay, cool. Yeah, I'm always trying to get the invoice if I can, absolutely. So otherwise I'll try and not order, essentially. So it's a bit of a risk otherwise. So one thing I had recently, and someone was asking about, how do you get past Section 3? Section 3 is what essentially, my understanding anyway of it, I've never been Section 3 before, is where it's essentially a counterfeit or authenticity claim. Now, I recently had one, actually, and I absolutely hate these. It's where a supplier or someone can basically make a counterfeit without test buy. And I despise these because it's total bullshit. How can they make a counterfeit claim without actually seeing the product? So anyway, I've had this thing up there for like a month now. It's taken ages. I submitted my invoices and stuff. Well, I actually couldn't get an invoice. The place I bought it from, which was the actual supplier of this brand, would not provide me an invoice. They basically said, no, we're not going to give an invoice, because I think they knew who I was. I actually wrote them an email saying, look, I'm an Amazon seller. Just want to get rid of this thing. I'm not going to actually sell this brand ever again. Just let me please provide me an invoice so then we can get this resolved, and I'll just literally recall the stock and dispose of it or whatever. Never responded to me. Absolute pricks, basically. But what I actually got through in the end, even though I didn't get an invoice, I sent them a screenshot of the order. both on the website and via email. And they kept coming back to me saying, you haven't got a date for that. We can't see the date. So what I then did was I then gave them my bank statement, highlighted the area on the bank statement where this purchase went out. So obviously it matched up. And that obviously gave them a date. So that worked well and it got accepted. So to the person who's struggling with Section 3s, if you're putting receipts on there and stuff like that, maybe also just combine it with bank statements and just show here's where this thing went out. It's just, I guess it shows a little bit more legitimacy, shows the sort of paper trail, I suppose, what you would call it, on that. So, but that worked for me anyway with this product. Now I'm just literally just selling it for, I just dropped my price now. Well, I'm making 16p a unit now. So just getting rid of these units. I've got 9 left basically. So getting rid of this brand. So yeah, today I'm on £203.28. So not too bad. For the month, I am on £10,204 now. So not too bad either. Excuse me, God. Yeah, so the month started off really well and then slowed down quite a lot. I made £5,000 in the first 10 days and literally took me 20 days to make another £5,000. So I've seen quite a few people say that the second half of September was really slow. I saw it on another sort of YouTuber that I watched around. He sells Lego stuff. He was saying it was very slow in September. Heard other Amazon sellers say it was very slow as well. So I think it's like a universally sort of slow thing that there's not many sales going on right now. Possibly because people are saving up potentially for Christmas, starting to think about Christmas. I'm not sure exactly why. It could be the fact the weather's just turned and we're all depressed. I mean, I'm certainly depressed with this weather. I need to go off somewhere warm. I'm absolutely hating the weather right now. I think I get seasonal depression, to be honest, because, yeah, it's awful. Anyway, let's go back to the questions anyway. So, hopefully that answered your questions there, guys, anyway. So, cool. Next, so Michael was asking, what's the best day to tackle Prime Day? So you need to be in a killer group. Obviously, Profit Sweep's the best one that I recommend. At midnight, you need to be ready, have all your accounts ready on all your different Chrome profiles, and then literally just buy first, analyze later. Get all your orders in. It's going to be crazy. Get on a call with other people. I think actually what I'll do is I'll host a call in FBA Moguls. We'll be on the call for both midnight drops, and we'll be there talking, and then because it's too much for one single person to kind of not analyze but like notice everything. So if you're in a call with people, then I think that could be a good way to do it. So yeah, I think that's the best way. So I'll be hosting a call on the lounge in FBA Moguls, so you can all jump on and we can all just basically watch the deals come in and share stuff on what we're buying and things like that. So Vince is asking, anyone know if ASOS provide basic invoice? Yes, I think they do. But there was since I've ordered from ASOS, but I'm 90% sure they provide good invoices. Right. So Reseller Kid, hello, how's it going? Sorry, I skipped a question here. Abby Kumar, do you think you could do full-time A2A, no OA? Depends how much money you need to make per month. I think you can make, on average, £2,000 a month through Amazon to Amazon. It's not very consistent, though. You get your good months, you get your bad months. But yeah, I think you can make a good living off A2A. If you're able to get, obviously, unlimited quantities, then you can make a lot of money. If you do the Amazon to Amazon and you're picking up the stock from other stores as well, I think you can make more money as well. So, which is technically a little bit of OA, I suppose, but it's come from the A2A, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I think you can. If you can live off £2,000-3,000 a month, then sure, you can. That's enough to, I guess, live off, I suppose. But yeah, excuse me, God. So, HSAR, would Quigita invoice not be enough? Or are you looking for invoice rate from the supplier? So, it depends what you're looking for, whether it's ungate or authenticity claim. Pretty much, in an ideal situation, you're going to need both. You're going to need the Quigita invoice and you're going to need supplier invoice. The Quigita invoice might be okay, but I wouldn't really want to test it with just that because essentially all they're doing is inserting themselves into the supply chain. Amazon probably want to see where it came from. And yeah, you're going to need both. So is the best advice I can give you for that. Let's have a look. The reseller kit opposite for me. Last 2 weeks, the month's been rapid. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I guess we've all got different experiences then. So for me, it's been really slow. What I probably should be doing is going through a lot of my inventory, maybe adjusting prices a little bit. I don't know, but yeah, I got hit with a parallel import claim recently on a Amazon to Amazon deal. So that was a fun one to fight. Fortunately, actually, I didn't realize because I was trying to download the invoice for this Amazon to Amazon thing. It was 500 units. And basically the Amazon page just kept crashing. I cannot get the invoices. So it's going to be interesting for Taxman, actually. The fact that I can't get these invoices. But I noticed when it actually came to fighting this parallel import claim, one of the options there was to just put a Amazon order number in. So I did that and it got sorted in like a day. So that was quite good. And now I'm just clearing that stock basically because it's quite clear that that supplier or that brand is not very happy with people selling their stuff. Reseller, how can you share on your group though? Because you'll be seeing these leads in Sweep. Couldn't tell free members. I guess so, but if I say something like, "Oh, that Ace laptop looks good," I mean, what's that gonna really? It's not like we're sharing the leads, if that makes sense. We're just talking more in like general, broad terms. So, be like, "Oh, that Ace laptop looks really good. That monitor looks good. That tile thing looks good." It's not really going to help someone who's not in that group. So, I think it's fine. I don't think there's many people going to be able to discern that information from there. So, I think it's probably okay. So. Yeah, not something I'm too worried about. Do you offer mentorship? If so, and how much? No, I don't know. I just recently talked about this in my latest driving vlog. I literally get asked about my mentorship literally nearly every day. Yeah, it's something I probably will do at some point. Actually, the owner of Profitect Pro, Buybot Pro, I was speaking to him and he was saying you should be offering mentorship 100%. But for me, it's something I probably will do in the future, but not now. I want to get my free course out there. I'm going to get everything out there for free. And then if people want to pay for mentorship, then that's cool. But yeah, right now, I don't offer it. And then when I do, it's going to be... So I have been thinking about it, to be honest. Because, so many people have been asking me about it. I've been thinking about how I would do it. And it'd be expensive because I kind of discourage people to do it. Because people don't need mentorship. They can learn it. If they, off their own back, I suppose, with all the information I'm going to give them. But if they really want mentorship, sure, it's going to be about 3,000 quid and it'll be about 12 months of mentorship. Something like that is what it's going to be, basically. So I'll probably even throw in like 1,000 quid, 2,000 quid's worth of leads as well. I need to figure out what's going on with it exactly, but that's probably what I'll end up doing. And it'll be very limited as well, maybe 1 or 2 a month at most. I don't know. We'll see, really. It's a big responsibility to take on. That kind of thing, really. And basically, I don't want to get labeled as like a scammer or someone who like has to basically sell courses or the mentorship or whatever. I don't know. I'm very reluctant to do it, but yeah. At the same time, it'd be stupid if people are willing to pay to leave money on the table. So yeah, but something I'm thinking about, but I'm not that excited about it. But like that, so I'd rather just help you all for free, to be honest. But yeah. Anyway. So Sunken's asking, how are you preparing for Q4? I'm basically just stocking up massively on perfumes and aftershaves, basically. That's what I'm hardcore on, basically. I think it might be a bit more sensible maybe to spread out into things like toys and video games and things like that. But yeah, literally, I've spent most of my money on aftershaves and perfumes because I just know they do crazy. But yeah, if you want to get into toys, they could be good as well. I don't know. I just feel like I can't focus on more than one thing, really. There's too much opportunity just in that area, especially with Quick Eater right now. That's just enough for me. I spent all my money anyway, so even if someone gave me like a good toy deal, I probably could buy it. But you know what I mean? Like I'm pretty much all in on that right now. So yeah, but that's how I'm preparing for it. I just know that it's going to be crazy. I'm just getting all the good stock in there, but at the same time as well, I'm not being afraid to sell things now as well. So. I talked to get this again in my video recently, my driving video. It's like the whole idea of like, are you better off holding stock to try and maximize profits, or are you better off just doing a churn? I used to be more of a holder. Now I'm thinking more churny. I'm not sure exactly, but depends how many leads you've got, whether you've got more leads than you have money. things like that. So I don't know, it's an interesting one. But yeah, that's how I'm preparing for it. Pretty simple overall. So Money has said, just ending my first full month, getting a bit fed up at the minute because the cash flow is so little. Only start with £1,000, but expenses and deferred transactions killing me off. Yeah, it's tough to start with £1,000. It is. So I always say, and it's pretty much a rule that I've seen pretty much universally, is that you will make 10% a month on whatever you've basically got in stock. So if you spend £1,000 a month on stock, you're pretty much going to make £100. So one thing you need to remember, though, Money, is your first year is for learning and your second year is for earning. Your entire goal right now is not to make money on Amazon, although you can make money. It's to learn how to do it properly. And obviously try and build up that capital as you're going along. But ideally, you can put extra money into it over time, or you can supplement it with a credit card or something like that, just to give you that little bit of boost. Be careful with credit cards. But yeah, give that little bit of boost to help you grow. But yeah, you need to be learning right now. And in fact, you should maybe consider yourself lucky you've only got £1,000, because one thing I've noticed, the more money you have, the more mistakes you can make, or the bigger your mistakes are going to be. And this is why I tell people not to get into wholesale, not to get into private label when they start, because you're going to have bigger purchase orders. And then if you made a mistake, you've got a mistake that, it's on 200, 300, 400 units or more, cost you a lot more money versus OA, whereas you make a mistake, you've bought 10 units and you can, 90% of the time you can return them. But yeah, it is tough to begin with. I totally get it. Just enjoy the process, enjoy the learning, and just realize this opportunity is real. It is very tough with £1,000, especially if you're doing OA. I do prefer RA personally if you're going to be doing only £1,000. Maybe FBM as well. I did a whole video on this, basically starting with £1,000, and that is basically doing RA and FBM. Although I've gone right off FBM recently because I've seen so many people get scammed out of FBM deals. Not deals, but like you send something via FBM, no matter what you've got, you could have the king handing it over to them, and basically that wouldn't be good enough proof for Amazon. They'll just refund the buyer. So literally, I'm not a fan of FBM anymore, but unless it's low value items. But yeah, it's tough. Just, you got to it's part of the game though. Even I was getting sick of Amazon like a week ago. I was thinking, bloody hell, I can't ungate Packer Rabanne. I've got a counterfeit claim I'm fighting. I've got the parallel import claim. Just, sometimes Amazon just, especially this time of year, you just get a little bit, I don't know, it gets a bit annoying at times, but it can be a bit draining. So, but yeah, don't let it put you down though. So Chris is saying, finding it time-consuming, checking all the variation leads on Cogita, trying to speed up sourcing the catalog. Any tips? Yeah, that's an interesting one. I guess with a lot of cosmetic and makeup items, there are so many variations. It's actually kind of crazy. So what I recommend is you use Cogita price drops. That's what I use to source. So basically, I take the price drops for every hour, put them into Arbisource, and that way you're getting the freshest deals, basically. So that is a fantastic Discord server. Again, I'll put the link for that in the description. But yeah, I mean, that's the best way, I think. In terms of going through the variations, I don't know. It's a tricky one, really. I guess it is. Yeah, I don't know how to help you on that one, really. It is just very time-consuming. A lot of times with these makeup brands, I'm looking immediately at, like, does it sell 50 SPM? If it doesn't, how close is it to 50 SPM? If it's not close, I'm basically passing on it, basically. Maybe I'm missing out on deals that way, but for me, I'm trying to get things that are 50 SPM or higher, especially with those items that I'm not making a huge amount of money on. If I'm making £5 profit or more per unit, maybe I'm willing to take a lower sales velocity. But yeah, I guess that would be the best advice to get through a lot of those, is try and find the variations that sell a lot. So Money says, like Prime Day, I'm not going to have any cash flow to capitalize in Q4. Yeah, credit card. That's what everyone uses. So it just gives you that little extra time. You get like 40 days to pay it off. So if you're at the beginning of the bidding cycle. So yeah, I'll put a link for you in there. The one that I recommend, because they're basically really not strict and they let anyone pretty much have a credit card, is this one here. So Capital on Tap. I'll put it there for you. You get £75 when you sign up as well and make your first purchase. So that gets paid immediately into your bank account. into your credit account. So that can be a way. Obviously, be very careful with credit cards, but that's how most people do this. That's how they stretch things a little bit. They're using credit cards to get the points and also just give them a little bit more capital. So maybe you can turn 1,000 to 2,000, by using a credit card, stretching things a little bit. Yeah. If you struggle to get one, you just got to be patient, mate. You got to slowly build your stock up and keep your expenses under control. And and then basically just like try and put extra money and get a job and try and put capital on taps limited only. So at that point you want to do an Amex personal one, I suppose. Again, probably this is bad advice, and I'd probably say let's not do this. I don't want you getting in trouble. So what I recommend you do is just basically need to put money in from another source to basically grow faster, and that's going to basically involve putting money in from your job if you have one. If you haven't got one, get a job basically. That's pretty much the best way to do this, and try and put extra money in every month into Amazon, and think of this as a long-term thing. It's a long-term thing anyway. It doesn't matter how much you start with. I started with 30k, and it took me a long time to get to the point where I was making good money. Like, I was still making good money, but to the point where I was like, oh, I can get, I was full-time anyway, but where I had enough money where it could bring in enough full-time income. That makes sense, because you're learning a lot of the time. So be careful with those anyway. So how many vax did I buy? I missed it. I slept in today, really bad. So I woke up really early with barely any sleep, and then tried to push through but fell asleep, and then it cost me money. So just shows you can't get everything though. So money's saying doing RA can't get it on OA. Yeah, it's cool. Start off with RA right now. That's the best way, especially this time of year. RA can be absolutely sick. You've got gift sets, you've got chocolates, you've got grocery items, all sorts of fun stuff, toys, all sorts of stuff going on there. So especially with Q4 coming up, RA is really good. So money, I hope you're in my Discord community. Are you? Hopefully, if you are. If you're not, feel free to join. Link should be in the description, but let me just get an invite out there anyway. Let me just get my link quickly. Generate new link. Here we go. Make sure you're in the community. I'm sure you are in there anyway, but it's hard to sometimes recognize who's who with the Discord names and stuff. So that's the link to my free Discord community. So Andy's asking, how are you navigating GPSR? Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to have to Google this. What is GPSR? The General Product Safety Regulations. I've never had to run into that. For me, I guess I've never had that problem before. So I've never had to, I guess, provide anything or do anything with GPSR. So I have to look this one up and see exactly what it is. What we are basically doing is what I recommend you do is online arbitrage. So we are selling existing branded products. So they should have already gone through all the regulatory processes and have all the compliance documents on Amazon. So that is not something I have to deal with myself. Maybe I'm being very naive on that. I don't know. I don't know anyone who really deals with this stuff, who is an OA seller who sells existing branded items. I'm sure this is an issue if Adam's listening. I'm not sure if he is, or Nikos listening, who do private label. I'm sure this is more of an issue there. If you're importing your own products under your own brand, I'm sure this is more of an issue. So Nothing is asking, other than Cogita, what else have you used for wholesale? So I've never done wholesale before apart from Cogita. So it's something I'm just never got into because it just like a lot of work and I was just focused on OA. I'm a big believer in focusing on one method and getting really good at it. Other people might disagree with that and they prefer to do everything. But for me, there was always enough opportunity on OA. And just the idea of me calling up dozens and dozens of wholesalers, trying to get an account, maybe even stretching the truth a little bit on whether I'm an Amazon seller or not, which is what a lot of them seem to do. I'm not saying wholesale's not viable. It definitely is. It's just something I never got into myself. Beyond Cogita. Perhaps I'm missing a trick there on that one. Might be easier. But yeah, for me, OA, it just always felt like that was quite a nice little model for me. And so I know guys that do OA at a much bigger scale than me as well. So they make I guess it's an average of 200,000 a year in profit from OA alone. So Pretty much all the way, yeah. Yeah, probably missing out there, definitely. Right, FBA Golden Boy. Gonna go about B. How dare you leave my live stream and go and eat? No, it's all good. Thanks for joining us anyway, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. So cool. Any guys got any more questions around Amazon FBA or anything business related, or you got any questions for me? Feel free to ask. So yeah, we've got 15 more minutes. Let me check the Discord. How much of a headache is it getting an invoice from Essential? I feel like they're not too bad actually. Yeah, I feel like they used to be quite good with invoices. But I'd have to look. I can't remember the exact site, but I'm pretty sure they're good. Excuse me, just having a drink there. But yeah, I think that's the answer to that one. Accenture. I seem to recall ordering from them in the past and them being pretty good with the invoices, but I can't. It's hard to say. I've got a big list of suppliers and how to get the invoices from them. At some point, I'm going to make that public actually, via a Chrome plugin. But right now, I haven't got that, so that's another project to do as well. So, but yeah, nothing. My guy's smashing it. Well done. Is that me? Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Thanks. Or yeah, so appreciate that. So yeah, any more questions, let me know. So let's have a look. Sales are a little bit slow at the moment, but yeah, hit the 10,000 for the month, which is nice. But realistically, I've got my prep fees were quite expensive this month. My last bill was, I'm gonna say £1,500 for prep fees because I've got a lot of Q4 items going in this month. And then I've got my 2 VAs who I have to pay as well. So realistically, out of that £10,000, £10,200 that it is right now, I've probably got around 3,000, I'd say. Probably is a really solid estimate of expenses. So, you know, probably about 7,000, I'd say. Yeah, it's where I'd be basically in terms of actual like the net profit. So those figures can whittle down quite quickly depending on what expenses you've got. Before I go, what's your view on mortgages, rent, and how to try and get on the property ladder at a young age? Any advice? So rent, yeah, it's an interesting one. Rent, well, I mean, people have to rent, don't they? There's kind of no way around it, really. But if you can stay at your parents for as long as possible and save the money, do that, because rental prices are going to go up, and they're going to go up even more, especially with Labour pushing through the sort of right to rent and all the kind of what they want to push through the no-fault eviction stuff. People who have properties who wanted to be landlords, like I have another property. I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to rent it out. You know, one of my plans was to basically funnel all my money into property. And now I'm thinking, why would I do that? Because if someone wants to go into that property and not pay rent, it's going to cost me an absolute fortune to get them out. And then if I decide I want to sell up or something, it's very hard to basically get them out. So it's I'm all for renters' rights. I think actually renters should have more rights, 100%, especially if you're a good renter. But the problem is there's not enough protection for landlords when the person's a bad renter. It's too skewed towards the renter. So yeah, definitely all for more renters' rights when it comes to being a good tenant. But when people are a bad tenant, the government need to make it easier to evict them. So as long as that was in place, I think you'd be okay. But anyway, yeah, and enough of a rant on that one. Yeah, it's tough really. Just get on the property ladder as soon as possible. Just if you have to get an apartment, go for an apartment. If you can get a house, obviously that's ideal. I went through the apartment route because I just didn't want to have to deal with the gardens and stuff. Somewhat regret it maybe a little bit, but you know, apartments are easier, I suppose. They're cheaper. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, it's just save your money. Don't waste your money on stupid things. Keep your expenses down. Try and build a business, and then, or you know, get your job or whatever, and then yeah, basically put your money into get onto that ladder. Basically, that's the first thing, isn't it? Once you get your foot on the door, basically, you're good to go. So. Yeah, it's a tough one though. I understand people are struggling to get onto the property ladder. But yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Save up that deposit and get on the ladder as soon as possible. If you can avoid renting, definitely do that because it's very expensive. So Snappy's asking, with Chrome browser profiles you mentioned earlier, is this for each login? Yes, every single login has its own Chrome profile. So create your 6 accounts. or 3 accounts, whatever you do, and have a separate Chrome profile for each one. So I've got 7 profiles, I think, 8 profiles. I've got 3 for my business ones, or 1 per, one for each. So I've got 6 Amazon accounts, and then I've got 6 profiles basically. So yeah, that's how I do it basically. And then I've got 1 for my personal, just normal Amazon stuff that I buy for personal and just doing general browsing. Then I've also got one I use for demos as well for doing live streams and stuff. So yeah, that's how I do it basically. So that's the best way to do it. Hopefully that helped you, Snappy. But yeah, tough one on the property. I don't know if anyone else has got any other advice on that one. So yeah, let me know. Cool, we've got about 10 minutes left, guys. Let me know if you've got any more questions about anything to do with Amazon or business or anything. Let me know, basically. Let's see what we've got in the Discord community. Let's have a look. FBA chat. Someone's asking about pets at home invoices to Ungate. I've never done it. I think, like this person was saying, most of my orders from pets at home got cancelled. Some OA sites, like someone was mentioning earlier to me, actually saying that they're struggling to order from certain OA sites. What were they mentioning? I can't remember now. Liz Earl, I think it was, basically saying they tried to order some units and they got emailed saying that they need to confirm they're not a reseller. I think about it, the exact same thing happened to me. Certain sites just don't like resellers. So what do? Just don't buy from them. Simple. If they don't want your business, they don't want your money, don't buy from them. And when they start struggling, when the economy goes down or whatever, then it's their own fault, isn't it? So, cool. Chris has asked, know anyone who build me some monitors? Chris, the problem is not the monitors, although that is one problem. The problem is proxies are ridiculously expensive. That is why you need to be... I don't know what Spence spends on proxies for Profit Suite, but it's got to be $1,000 or $2,000 a month, I'd imagine. So, and then Keeper on top of it. It's very expensive to run monitors and Keeper and all that kind of stuff like that. It's very expensive. So it's not a really viable option for a single person unless you've got a lot of money to buy a lot of stock. So, yeah. Snappy, with Amazon Business using the same company name for each. So I created them a long time ago. I'm pretty sure I had one ages ago that I was for my Airbnb, when I had my Airbnb, but I just ran that as a sole proprietor, a sole trader. So I think I created one there. Then I created one under my software company. So that was a separate company technically. Then my third one... I think it was another business. I can't recall actually. I'd probably have to look and see. But yeah, I think times have changed now. From when I did it, it's a little bit more difficult now, I think. But yeah, that's what I did anyway. I'm not sure exactly, to be honest with you, on how exactly I did it. But yeah, apart from the Airbnb one, the software one, and then maybe the third one was just under I use my Amazon business name, maybe, but I can't recall. Not that I advise you do that, though. Elliot, how about buying a house outright and renting out? What are your thoughts on that? I don't like the idea, really, right now. I think your money's better off elsewhere. I don't think being a landlord is going to be a good idea anymore, because I think there's very little upside for you and loads of downsides. So... if someone decides not to pay rent, it's going to cost you £5,000-10,000 to evict them. You're never going to get the rent off them. They could trash your property. You're never going to get your money back for that. It's just not good, really. And then when you've actually got good tenants, I guess it's very difficult to get them out if you do want to sell or whatever like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Because you could sell for whatever reason. And there's this like weird little like thought that that all landlords are like greedy, wealthy people, but I think most landlords are out there just like people that just want extra home because maybe they got married and they both of them had a house and they decided to move into one, rent the other one out. Then that's quite a common scenario. Or they inherited a house, just one house. So I think that probably covers like 90% of probably landlords in the UK, good 80% anyway. So yeah, they're not like greedy people. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. I don't want to go too much in this rant, basically. But no, I think you're better off putting your money into other things. I think Airbnb could be a good one, potentially, if you do buy the property for Airbnb. That's good, because the good thing about Airbnb is you can make more money. And also as well, the person who stays there has got zero rights, basically. If they don't leave, you can basically call the police on them. So... yeah, that's my opinion on that one. But buying a house to rent out, I'm not a fan of it right now, and then most people I think agree with me because I've got a property for sale right now, and they said to me, "Do you think about renting it out?" I was like, "No way," basically, and they said, "Yeah, there's a lot of people thinking like that. They're selling. A lot of landlords now selling up because they don't want to be stuck with the property with the new laws that are coming out put in by Labour. Also, as well, Labour going after our taxes as well. They're going to be increasing taxes on anyone who does self-employment, things like that. So, what would I do if I had 150k to put into whatever right now? If you're looking at property or whatever, I'd probably do the Airbnb route potentially, or just stick into an index fund. Not financial advice, but yeah, that's what I'd probably do for that. So, or put it into Amazon or another business. So, depends really. So, you're not going to get rich off of property. Like, it can bring in some okay money. I feel like property is where rich people put their money, rather than getting rich from property. Unless you're doing like house renovations or building from scratch, you're not going to get rich from being a landlord or even an Airbnb host. So yeah, put your money into property maybe when you're wealthy, when you're loaded. But yeah, make your money through business. Right, any final questions before we go? We've got 4 minutes left. Got onto a good little tangent about properties and stuff like that. I love this kind of stuff, to be fair. But yeah, so anyone know how to review returns from Amazon? Requested a return on some stuff. It's been ages, still haven't received it. Oh, okay. You're talking about... Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery to me when you do, like... I guess this person is talking about when you actually, like... You've got some, like, inventory in Amazon that you need to recall. Sometimes it does take ages to arrive. It's a bit of a mystery actually how and when it turns up. It's a bit and tracking it and stuff. But yeah, it can take ages. Sometimes it can be really quick, and sometimes it can be really slow. It's just it's a bit of a weird one. Cool, right? Couple more minutes then. Viewership is dropping off. But yeah, any final questions? Let me know before we wrap it up. I'm gonna go and quickly pop to Sainsbury's to get some food, and then. Yeah, I don't know, then relax the rest of the evening. I just downloaded a game called... so this weekend I took a relaxed this weekend, actually. Just tried to do absolutely nothing. Ended up getting a video game, Warhammer Space Marines 2, I think it's called, on Xbox. Pretty good game, actually. Been enjoying it. So I'm going to try and just do like one mission in the evening. Yeah, just not go... I've been trying to avoid video games and things like that, but I feel like I do need to have some downtime. You can't always be working, and I find I get myself burnt out. So just learning to have that sort of balance between work and downtime, basically, is something I've been struggling with, because I feel like every time I'm spending an hour watching TV or playing a video game, it's an hour I could be working on business. So, but no, this thing is everything, Amazon, all business, life in general. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So need to pace yourself a little bit and just enjoy the journey and accept that things are going to take time. So Jacob says, been a good one live. Thank you very much. I've been watching while cooking. Awesome. What have you been cooking, Jacob? Let me know. So before this, I cooked myself some sort of ramen noodles with dumplings, which is pretty good. So yeah, very spicy though, but it was very tasty. But yeah, I thought I'd eat before I came on. Yeah, no problem, Claudia. I see you joined the Discord community as well. That's awesome. Welcome. So any questions you've got, you can be in there. So Jacob's done the exact same this weekend. Need to chill before Q4. Exactly. It's good to have that downtime. Definitely need to, learn to relax a little bit. You can't spend all your time working, unless you're just proper hardcore. But I don't know. I want to get out and have a walk actually, but it's been raining all day. So I guess I'll have a walk around Sainsbury's. Maybe get some treats or something. I'm not sure exactly. But yeah. Well, anyway, thanks guys for watching. Unless there's any final questions, we'll wrap it up there. But I do thank you all for joining. We had a peak of 19 viewers, I think, so which is pretty awesome. So I do really appreciate it. Sticky beef. That sounds amazing. You have to put take a picture of it and put it in the success channel when you've cooked it. So that sounds really nice. Awesome. Right, wrap it up there, guys.